me set my mic. There we go. All right. Okay, I guess we have to do the intro once again. I'm so sorry, everyone. We missed my mic had some issues just now, but welcome everyone. Welcome to Huobi Live. It's been an interesting ride so far. So every day we have different live streams coming on board the session itself. And if you guys do enjoy the content, which I think many of you guys have been tuning in for the last of last week, we had a pretty interesting session on last Friday, and we will have one coming this Friday as well. So if you guys are interested to find like a weekly wrap up, I think that will be the show that you guys might want to catch. So as we mentioned, we want to hit 100,000 likes by the end of the show. We are currently sitting at about 16,000 likes. Keep smashing that like button, and hopefully by the end of the year we get $100,000 of Bitcoin. All right, so for today's show, it's gonna be a little bit different. We don't have any influencers here. We don't have any KOLs here, but we do have a project that is gonna be pretty interesting, and we have two different representatives that will be talking to us about this project. And my job here is to share about the current event that is running on the Huobi app. And by watching these live streams, by watching this particular live stream, actually, you do stand a chance to win some prizes at the end of the show by giving us a correct answer to some questions that will be posted, and these questions are related to the stream. So do stay tuned and do ensure that you are listening to the stream, because we will be dropping those hints throughout the whole show. All right, so moving on. So today we are talking about the project Cube, or Cube Network, and the Carnival event on the Huobi Global app. So if you're watching on YouTube, you might want to tune in onto the app, because through the app you are able to chat with us. This is where we are having most of the questions or getting engagement from. If you haven't downloaded the app, do download the app, get signed up, get verified, and join the event to win some amazing prizes. So for this round of the Cube and the Cube and PrimeBox Carnival event, the prize pool is 2 million USDT, which will be shared with everyone that is joining the event. And you do get to stand a chance to win a small portion of that prize pool as well. So to me, $2 million is a lot of money. It's life-changing money, and you can do a lot of things with that money as well. So without further ado, let me introduce you to today's guest. We have Jake, who's a member of Cube Technical Committee, and Johnny from the Huobi Research Institute to talk about the project Cube. And I will be talking about the Carnival event. So I'm not the main star of the show. These two guys are. So maybe we can start with Jake to give us a small introduction about yourself, and maybe what you do at the Cube Technical Committee.
Yeah, thanks so much, Jordan. Yeah, so I'm Jake. Nice to meet everyone. And I'm with Cube's Technical Committee. My role is essentially to help bring as many projects into the ecosystem as possible, and help make changes to some of the architecture and some of the workflows, so that it's as easy as possible to integrate into the Cube network. My background, I've been in the space kind of full time since about 2017. A lot of it has been on the kind of the trading side and the investing in project side, and this is a really exciting phase, I think, because we've seen a lot of the I guess in the last cycle, these the alt L1 narratives, and I think that what we're going to see kind of in this new reemergence, in this kind of next growth cycle, is how we could have been building these alt L1s maybe a little bit smarter out of the beginning. And so I'm really excited to be a part of this journey to make environments and L1s for builders and for projects much easier to use and much more efficient and cost effective. So yeah, thank you.
Cool. So maybe we can get Johnny to give a small introduction himself. He's from the Huobi Research Institute. I'm not too sure what does your job consists of, but I will guess it's a lot of research. So maybe you can tell us about what you do, things that you can tell us. If there are things you cannot tell us that you have to silence us after that, you don't have to tell me that.
Yeah, sure.
Just go like this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
because
basically I do research about current crypto markets and the most updated developments, and I bring up a conclusion about the market trends, and also to suggest some new opportunities, and also any strategies for higher level decision making, also to other investors who are, or for, who are interested in knowing about it, the current market behavior and sort of thing. And that's actually what I do. I have been, learning about crypto since 2017, and I'm very glad to, have the opportunity to learn this new project, Cube, and I can't wait to, explore more things about Cube with you guys.
right, cool. So both of you started in crypto, or maybe you got in touch with crypto in 2017. So that was kind of when I got started with crypto as well. I bought I think half a Bitcoin at that point of time. It was a couple $100. Um, but then the silly me, went to start trading, buying and selling stuff. So you lose money in between here and there. But I think it's still alright. But $500 in Bitcoin, no one ever thought that this will grow into what it is today, right? Peaking at $60,000. Right now sitting at about 20-21 thousand. But I think it's still cool. It's still cool. So today's main topic is really about the project Cube, Cube network. So is it called just Cube, or is it called Cube network as a whole?
I think Cube we prefer for now, but I guess for differentiation, sometimes because it's cube.network, so you can call it whatever you want, but either one's fine.
Right. So maybe let's talk a little bit about Cube. What the token is about. So I think Jake will be the best person to start because you are a member of the Cube Technical Committee. Chances are you're going to be a bit more expert than what Johnny and I am. So maybe can you just share with us a little bit about what the token's about, maybe a little bit about tokenomics, how the ecosystem works, the problem it solves, and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure. How long do we have? No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, I guess the boilerplate might sound a little intimidating just because it's kind of filled with some technical words. But so Cube is a high performance scalable layer one public blockchain, and the most important part is with a modular architecture. So it supports both multi-chain and cross-chain. Like I said before, the modular part is kind of if you can take away one word, just the modular word. So Cube it's fully compatible with EVM, and eventually, sort of end of this year, will be with the Cosmos ecosystem as well, which is one of the harder problems to solve. So we want to support seamless migration of applications within these ecosystems. So if you've built on any of them before, it's easy to port your code over and integrate. Some of the tenets we really maintain is that Cube values innovations and community, and we hope to build the future of Web3 through continuous technological innovations and support of the project's building. We hope to unite a bunch of communities and various projects across all of these ecosystems and just deliver that next Web3 experience and the Web3 future for all users, not just DeFi, not just trading, but things like GameFi and SocialFi and possibly real world assets and things like that. So that's kind of that's the boilerplate.
Right. So there are a few keywords. And I hear that you say modular is one of the keywords, right? So modular, does it mean it's like a plug and play where I can just plug it out here and then put it with something else? Is that what you mean by modular?
Yeah. So I think if you can think of some of the functions that monolithic blockchains perform, it's execution, it's settlement, and it's consensus. And so without maybe we can go into some of the more details a little bit later, but
sure.
I guess think of it as BFT consensus is very hard to just spin up very quickly, and so it takes things like Bitcoin, right, which has kind of this Lindy effect of being a very, very strong consensus network that it's really hard to remake a Bitcoin in terms of its consensus mechanisms. And so anybody who's building a blockchain, an application specific blockchain, shouldn't have to try to create their own network of consensus. They should just borrow or rent somebody else's. And so if you can just take apart those three mechanisms and allow different operators at each point, you can just focus on, you know, what your particular application or what your particular use case is, and then kind of build in that environment rather than competing, you know, in these other environments that are costly and you shouldn't necessarily have to, especially if it's kind of in the early phases. So yeah, just separating the you know, settlement, consensus, and execution environments. This is the modular way.
Yeah. So Cube has a lot to do with customization and specialization, right?
Yes. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Right. So just for the benefit of the audience, right? I think there are a few other keywords that I picked up as well, which is EVM and the Cosmos ecosystem and the layer ones. Yeah. So just for the benefit of the audience, because I do understand that there are some people that are watching this stream. They might be very new to crypto, that they have no idea what EVM is. They have no idea what layer one is. Most of us that has been in crypto for maybe the last couple of years, you probably know what an EVM is. You will know what a layer one is. You will know what layer two is as well. Even for myself, to me, Cosmos is considered pretty new. It's something that I'm still learning as well, and I just found out a bit of maybe last year or early part of last year. That was where I found out about Cosmos. So I think maybe we can get Johnny, right, to explain you know, what is a Cosmos ecosystem, what's a layer one, maybe what's a EVM as well. So people that are watching that are new, they are able to understand this very quickly. You don't have to understand everything today, but I think it will be a good place to start understanding a little bit about what these things are, and you can start doing your own research from there.
Yeah, I can give a brief explanation about what EVM, Cosmos, and layer one are. So you better understand, you can understand more about what Cube does. So yeah, just lays a foundation for you guys. Basically, a layer one network is just a name for a base blockchain like Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB Smart Chain, Solana. And we refer them to layer one because these are the main networks within their own ecosystem. In contrast to layer one, there are other types of layers that built on this layer. They offer different solutions, like layer two solutions like Polkadot. And basically, all you need to know about layer one is the base protocol for a blockchain. And the Ethereum virtual machine is actually the software platform where developers can make use of this platform to create their own decentralized applications, or we sometimes call them dApps. And the Ethereum machine is where all Ethereum accounts and smart contracts live. They run on Ethereum machine. And the machines attempt a higher level abstraction and they actually run on other operating systems like OS Windows. They actually borrow the computation power of physical machines using virtual architecture, so developers can run their projects on the Ethereum machine. So let's talk about Cosmos. Cosmos is an ecosystem of blockchains that aims at scalability and also interoperability with each other. So it basically wants to bring projects together from different blockchains. So before Cosmos, blockchains were siloed, isolated, and were unable to communicate with each other. They were hard to build and could only handle a small amount of transactions per second. That's a scalability problem. And Cosmos solves these problems by, bringing a new technical vision. The Cosmos team wants to make it easy for developers to build blockchains and break the barriers between blockchains by allowing them to transact with each other. The actual end goal is to create the internet of blockchains. So basically, to make sure they merge together to bring more opportunities and also more functionalities within the whole crypto ecosystem.
Right. So so for those that didn't catch what Johnny mentioned, I think the keywords I caught was that layer one is basically a base blockchain. So it's like Bitcoin,
Yeah.
Solana, Ethereum,
Yeah.
BSC. You have the Huobi ecosystem as well. And then EVM is basically a virtual machine that holds smart contracts where the smart contracts live. And the Cosmos ecosystem is basically a ecosystem where They want to be able to promote scalability and interoperability between different blockchains coming together, like the Internet of Blockchains. So I think the Cosmos ecosystem is gonna be pretty interesting because interoperability is something that a lot of other blockchains are trying to do, and not many have actually succeeded because of how complex things can be, right? So thank you, Johnny, for all the explanation. For those viewers that are still unsure, I think there are some keywords that we have mentioned today that I think will help when you start researching about all these different blockchains, all these different keywords as well. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment box down below. I think we'll look through them very quickly. A lot of people are asking about the PrimeBox card. So I'm going to explain it right now. So now it's my turn to do the explanation. Thank you for all the technical stuff. So my stuff is going to be pretty easy because it's for the users to win some prizes, right? So one of the reasons we got onto this live stream together was because of PrimeBox and the Cube event, right? So although the market might be down right now, I think personally the most important thing during down times is where you keep your spirits up and then you start learning new stuff, getting educated. And when the market starts to pick up, this is where you are able to get all the good gains, right, and the transfer of wealth. And to make things a little bit happier for all the users on Huobi, you are able to earn free tokens so that when the bull market comes back, these people, we will see more people coming back to the exchange and start trading on the crypto markets as well. So the PrimeBox event that we have has a prize pool of 2 million USDT. And when you join the event, you will be given a free NFT, a free Huobi NFT. And I'm not sure if you guys have heard of PrimeBox, but we have been running it for the last, we have started in the beginning of this year. We have had 5 different events, one for Lunar New Year, one for Valentine's Day, we have one for Women's Day, we have one for Easter and the recent Pizza Day as well. And today will be the 6th one. And during all these events, users are able to win NFT that can be used as a profile picture in your Huobi app. So I'm not sure how you guys use an exchange, but I use my own NFTs that I've earned from the previous event, and this gives me some bonus. So I believe that NFTs shouldn't just be a picture, right? It must have some utility that allows you to do some stuff as well. So for this round, the one that we are running with Cube right now, there are a few things that all these users can do, right? So for those of you that have been asking for cards, there are some ways that you can win it. So by collecting 5 cards or 5 eco element cards or Cube eco element cards, you are able to merge these 5 cards into a magic cube that can be used to redeem a prize. And these Cube eco element cards can be collected by doing various activities like trading, spot trading, contract trading, doing a special task in your task list, collecting cube shards. 10 cube shards actually gives you 1 card, so you can just surf around the app. It will give you random cube shards all over the app. And you can trade and swap cards with friends. And if you use your previous NFT that you have gotten from your previous Huobi events, you do get additional cards as well. And for those that have previous the NFTs, do remember to use them as a profile picture. You can go down to your settings and set it as a profile picture, and that will give you an additional card every single day, which increases the chance of you getting more magic cubes, and getting more magic cubes will give you more chances of getting more cube tokens. So now let's talk a little bit about Cube. Let's talk about the ecosystem that Cube has right now. So I think this is the part where Jake is going to unload all the information about the Cube ecosystem. Yeah, but in layman's terms so that I can understand as well.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you said something there. I think that I think really resonated with me, Jordan. Like the idea that that NFTs should be more than just graphics. I think that right now, we're in this kind of experimentation phase with NFTs, and I think that this next round we'll start to see a lot more things you can do with NFTs in terms of access, in terms of ticketing, in terms of events, in terms of these ways that communities can engage with one another in more ways than just okay, you show up and you add, maybe you like you say, you have permission to add this NFT to your profile pic. But what can I do for you outside of just the kind of visual aspect of it? I think this kind of next movement of NFT development we'll start to see a lot of more interesting applications, and I think that that's going to be one of my focuses, which is bringing in more novel use cases and applications and marketplaces onto the Cube chain, because it will be more accommodative in terms of throughput and in terms of sort of scalability and sort of creating these smaller, more modular environments that are more tailor built for the application builder.
Right. Hang on. I'm just writing a question here.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because we have a question from the audience, right? So this guy Darnell Low.verse. Okay, so basically some Huobi users, they do have digital identity. So instead of saying a string of numbers, it's just a phrase. He
Cool.
says, how can Cube solve the problems of many layer ones such as Solana?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think maybe just the high level answer is we we've seen kind of like the expression trial by fire, right? Just throw it in rapid experimentation. We've seen what happens when L1s start to have a kind of a viral application or a viral use case. Stress test the L1, and and a lot of times you see this kind of reactionary. There's a sort of reactionary approach to, okay, we'll let people build or use the block space however they want, and then just kind of duke it out for gas. Fight for the gas usage, fight for the commitment to the next block. With the modular approach allows for thinking about your end user before knowing exactly who your super user is, or what the super, the thing that's going to allow your application to, or your L1 to scale. So thinking modularly allows you to build a framework where you don't know who is exactly going to be the most active user on your chain at the end. So an example or a few examples, L1s tend to get stress tested and break during, a few things. So games being very successful on the main chain, and NFT mints, obviously, right? We see so much competition to, whether it's through, people just rapid fire clicking to be a part of the mint, or people building bots to kind of game mints or token launches. And so those are the environments where I like to make the analogy that it's like that it's sort of like a large, think of like a monolithic layer one as like a big conference room or a big event space. And in that event space, you've got a corporate board meeting trying to be conducted. You've got a rock concert happening in that same room. You've got like a yoga session, like a meditation session, and you've got like a birthday party, all trying to like do their thing on this like monolithic L1 in the same room, paying the same rent, right? Paying the same rent for using that room. Well, inevitably one of those is going to win, because it's just by nature the rock concert's going to win. Nobody's going to be able to hear over the rock concert, and so like that they have just sort of marginalized everyone else on that in their block space, right? And so if you can just create rooms instead of having everyone exist in the same room, like here's the part of the room that's for yoga and meditation, and we've got a separate room there, and then here's another part of the conference center that's we've insulated the sound so you can perform music in there and nobody else will hear you, and then here's this other one where you can have a birthday party and like all of this other stuff. So if you create these environments where you don't have to choose all of the parameters out of the gate, you can sort of create environments that are more user friendly for each kind of flavor of application, right? So you could have like a DeFi zone, or an NFT zone, or a SocialFi zone where maybe you're not as concerned with security, but you're more concerned with throughput, right? Like I don't need to pay the same amount of security to the L1 if I'm trying to say upload a photo to like a new SocialFi application, right? I don't need to pay the same amount of fees to the network to secure that as I do, say, taking out a loan on a collateralized debt protocol, right? So those two things, they should have different priorities, you know. GameFi and trading should prioritize speed. SocialFi should prioritize throughput, and DeFi should prioritize security, right?
Right, right. So we have another question here, right? So this one will be for Johnny.
Yeah.
Don't feel pressured to say yes to this question. So the question literally was, will Cube be the next ETH? Okay,
Cube
so
definitely has the possibility to become the next ETH, because Jake just mentioned about the interoperability and also the customization that Cube has to do with the layer 1 thing, and there's much room for endless possibility in crypto space. Almost everything is possible. You can't deny a possibility of something from becoming greater than the existing projects, because out there are so many great developers out there, and also very great team members out there building the best things in the crypto space. And I have a good vision. I also have a very good prospect about the whole development of things that coming ahead in the crypto space.
right. So anything that is mentioned here does not constitute to financial advice. Please do your own research.
Yeah, of course, no.
Yeah. Do not just buy Cube because Jake and Johnny talks about it and say how good it is. Always do your own research, because everyone's a bit different in the risk tolerance that everyone can take. I just got to put it out there. But I do agree, because I do agree that Cube might become the next ETH, because we've seen that in the past it was Ethereum that was just dominating the space for smart contracts, right? And then now we have so many other layer ones coming out that are doing things a lot faster and a lot cheaper. And it's speeding things up really, really fast. Like Solana, they are able to do things for really cheap and really quickly as well. Okay.
Yeah,
but,
I want to add something. What's
Sure.
interesting about about the new projects, that they make use of the existing resources and they build new things upon it. And I think that's where improvements are made. And you can actually make use of the current resources that out there, because everything in blockchain is open source, right? Everyone can read about it, study about it, and also make improvement. And you can take something from this project and you can implement it into another project. And that's why people with teams with creativity can build very good projects out there.
Right.
I agree. Yeah, totally agree. It's the shoulders of giants analogy, standing on the shoulders of giants. I think it's such a cool time to be alive with, like you mentioned, the open source, and really, what can differentiate, in the era of open source is just how well you can build a community and how well you can build community trust. So, because if the community stops trusting the motives of the protocol, they can just take what you've done, right, and go do it again in a way that's better and newer and bring the community over. So I think at the end of the day, the community is absolutely the most important thing. And I think our team's done a pretty good job of building a community so far in the early stages. I don't know, Jordan, I don't know if you have some of the numbers, but they've done a pretty good job. I just kind of keep my head down over here.
Right. So I think for community-wise, the information that was given to me is that there's about 700,000 fans in the community for Cube Network. I'm not sure if the number's right, but that was what's given to me, because I don't join a lot of communities because there's too many, and if I join every single one, I'll probably be too busy checking them out, right? And I think that there are quite a bit of investors of cryptocurrencies and developers and most of them are developers as well. And I think there's places to find out about Cube social media, or their community, right? You can check out their website, which is www.cube.network. They have Twitter as well, which is CubeOX. and medium is at CubeOX as well. So we do have one question here from the chat, right? This guy is asking, how secure is Cube?
How secure is Cube?
Yeah. Because that's I think because you mentioned that for certain things, like maybe for like SoFi, right, you don't have like for social fi you don't have to have a lot of security uploading a profile picture into the platform, but maybe for loans you probably need a little bit more security. So how does that part of the network works?
Yeah, so right now, it's a good question. 21 validators running. It's not, it's not as decentralized and secure as the Bitcoin network, but the idea is to it's really hard to bootstrap consensus networks. So that's security is going to come over time, and through usage and through kind of more participation with people wanting to distribute and run their own validator nodes and win incentives from the network. So that comes with time, and it's not something you can just bootstrap on month 3. So that is something, that's a place where we look to find ways of making more secure and more distributed kind of daily, and bringing more validators into the network.
Right. So someone just sent in a question as well. Is what's your consensus model? So when you say validators, are you guys like is it a DPoS, or is it like a POS model, or is it like a mix of different proof systems?
Yep. Yeah. So the thing's called it's chaos consensus, a new term.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a DPoS model, but it uses a kind of unique random sampling to choose one of 3 validators for consensus. So
right.
Maybe it's a little too much to get into on this talk, but in the if you go into the docs, I think it's docs. I'll just get the link. You can find just more information about the methodology behind the chaos consensus, which is using random sampling to speed up consensus, but only sacrifice a very, very small amount of security, right? You don't have to. I like to think of kind of the analogy in this case as like, if we're running sort of 2 copies of a encyclopedia, right? In order to tell, and we don't know what each other is holding, it's really relatively easy to sample like 1,000 random points on different pages and different paragraphs from each other to know that we have the same book, versus going kind of like line by line through the entire 3,000 whatever 10,000 pages, and making sure that we absolutely agree. You can check at random points to secure to ensure that everyone has honest nodes.
Right. So someone asked, is Cube and Capricorn Finance the same company? I got no idea what Capricorn Finance is.
So docs.cube.network for anyone who wants to look there.
Docs.cube.network.
Yeah. Right. Capricorn is an application. So working closely with the Cube team, but not it's not the same it's not the same project.
Right. So I think we have quite a few supporters from, or like people who are very curious about Cube. They're asking about Cube economics. How do you maintain the Cube economy? Is it a fixed number of coins, or will it be mined, or like an unlimited supply? I would think that's yeah.
Yep. Fixed supply. Lowish float right now. I think it's 1 billion total tokens. Many of which are allocated for the community and validators, mining, all kinds of stuff. If you want, you can see the tokenomics again on the docs page that I just mentioned. Yeah, it's still it's still early, right? There's like low float. I mean, it's not like I don't really want to speculate too much about price, and so So I think my job is to focus more on just bringing more people in, bringing in this next set of users, making it much more easy to bring projects over into Cube and just bring the community. I think that if you focus on that first, you don't have to think too much. You can have organic protocol revenue, right? That's not protocol owned assets. It's more of it's coming from fees generated from organic usage and things like that. So that's what I think us and a lot of other projects will be focused on in the future. It's not going to be token emissions that are kind of like thin air emissions. It's going to be emissions that are or revenues that are shared and shared with the people that are on the protocol and people who are using the protocol and supporting it, that are organic, that are paid in normal stuff, not just inflationary tokens. So I think that focusing on usage and focusing on just generating transactions that are from people who are doing things that they would otherwise normally be doing, like SocialFi, like GameFi, like things like that. Just bringing more of those communities in, and you get that organic user base and that organic transaction flow. And I think that's the thing that I'm more focused on, rather than just kind of the pure tokenomics.
Right. So, Johnny, I got a question for you, right? So, being in the Huobi Research Institute, right? When you research a token, how important does a community play? Because I feel that community is really important, because that is like a baseline for any project, right? A project cannot succeed without its community at the back. So I believe that you probably have some metrics, or you have some scale to have like, oh, if the community is this amount of people or this active doing social media, it scores a certain number of points in your research paper or something like that. So to you, how important is community for a project?
Yeah, as you have said, community is actually the foundation of any projects existing in the crypto space, because the purpose of almost every crypto project is to serve its community, right? Is to provide services for people to use. A lot of blockchains are doing this. Basically, the more people the blockchain can embrace, and also they can have more people to use their products, the stronger the prospect of that particular project will be. And in terms of analyzing the community and also the strength behind this particular project, we will look into transaction volume, and also we'll look into how that project brings more opportunities for further applications, and maybe more opportunities for more adoptions in other spaces. And we also focus on the main thing that we will want to look into at the first place is its volume, the transaction volume. It actually actually illustrates the strength behind this project, because volume demonstrates how many people are using it. Because when you do a transaction, no matter if you upload, for example, if you transfer some token to another place, you actually make a transaction. And the more transactions there are, the more functionality that project can bring.
Right. Thanks so much for the explanation. I think I do agree with you. Like community is like really important, right? So I think before we end this live stream, I think we are running a little bit too long. Jake has somewhere to go right after this. I'm not going to hold you back for too long, but just let me end.
Right. I'm leading the Huobi team in New York for for NFT NYC. So.
Yeah. So I don't want to hold you back as well. And it's pretty late for me and Johnny as well. Johnny hasn't eaten dinner yet, so yeah. So but before we end, just give me another 5 minutes. I do have to rehash once again for the contest. So a lot of people has been asking about the Cube Carnival event, how to get cards, right? So if you are watching the stream right now, you need to earn 5 different Cube eco element cards to get a chance to win some Cube prizes. So to win these eco element cards, you can do spot trading, you can do futures trading, you can collect the element cards by collecting shards as well. You can swap with your friends, and last but not least, you can get free cards every day by using your Huobi NFT as your profile picture on the exchange that were won in previous events to get some cards. And definitely for people that have higher card rarity, the more cards you get per day. So if you're getting a normal one, I think it's 1 card per day. If you're getting a super rare one, you have like 10 cards per day. So right now we are doing a giveaway for some PrimeBox cards for users who can answer the following questions correctly. There are 5 questions here. The first one is, what is the theme of this event? The second question is, how much is the total prize pool for PrimeBox and Cube Carnival event? How many different cubes eco element cards do you need to make a magic cube? What are the names of the cube ecological oh wait, hang on. This is a tongue twister. What are the names of the cube eco element cards? And how often do you get a chance to share? From the PrimeBox Cube Carnival prize pool? So you have to answer all these 5 questions, and the moderators will be looking at the chat. We got a pretty good audience today. We are like almost 50,000 audience. I think that's a very good exposure for Cube. I think it has been a pretty interesting chat. I mean, we have heard from the research side. We have heard from the project side as well. So I want to thank Jake from the Cube Technical Committee, and Johnny from Huobi Research Institutes for coming on live with us. Super early for Jake, super late for me and Johnny. But I think there are more live streams.
It just shows the community, right? All around the world.
Yeah, man. Sacrifices we make.
Yeah.
Sacrifices we make. Yeah, but thank you guys for coming on live. I really appreciate it a lot. So for the audience, there are more live streams coming up this week, so do stay tuned for those. Subscribe to your favorite content creators if you haven't. My name is Jordan, and I'm signing out, and together with me is Jake and Johnny. Thank you guys for coming, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys. Cheers.
Yeah. All right. Bye.